Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Inside Edge. It's Friday, October 10th, and I'll end this week with a story about a former governor of New Jersey. Most of you probably never heard of, but he's worth knowing about. His name was George Silzer. He was a political boy wonder elected to the New Brunswick Board of Aldermen. That's now the city council when he was 21 years old. By the time he was in his early 30s, he was the Middlesex County Democratic chairman, and in his mid-30s, he became the senator from Middlesex County. He beat a Republican incumbent by 106 votes countywide. So in the early part of the 20th century, George Silzer is both a senator and a significant county chairman, a really influential player in Trenton. And in 1910, at age 40, Silzer ran for governor. He looked like a lock for the Democratic nomination, but this is Jersey politics, and he got screwed. Party bosses in Essex and Hudson recruited the president of Princeton University, a guy named Woodrow Wilson, to run for governor instead. I mean, this was mostly a power play over what was then the legislature electing a U.S. senator. Wilson won the election, and he wound up screwing over the guy who made him governor. And Silzer expected to be Wilson's Secretary of State. Guess what? Wilson screwed him again. He settled for Middlesex County prosecutor, and then he became a judge. And after waiting for 12 years, George Silzer got another shot at governor. He ran with the backing of Hudson County boss Frank Hague. But once elected, he surprised Hague. He spent 3 years as a reform-minded crusader who just believed that good government could beat backroom politics. Silzer was governor of a state that was split between a bunch of different factions, especially Frank Hague's Hudson County machine and a Republican legislature that was just determined to block him at every turn. He tried to chart an independent course, and Silzer wound up pleasing absolutely nobody. He proposed a 10-cent gasoline tax as a way of modernizing New Jersey's roads. The legislature ignored him. They passed a watered down version of 2 cents. He called for reform of the state courts, but he saw his eyes just sort of buried under partisan maneuvering. Even his appointments, like the Highway Commission, where he tried to build a department around competence instead of politics, but he became a sort of the target of Hague's retaliation. George Silzer angled for the 1924 Democratic nomination for vice president. That was the disastrous convention at Madison Square Garden that picked Calvin Coolidge's running mate on the 103rd ballot. The convention was asked to pick the vice presidential candidate, and Silzer, the sitting governor, received just 12 votes out of 28 Democratic delegates from New Jersey. Remember, until 47, New Jersey governors served just 1 3-year term, and then they were term limited. Later on, Silzer chaired the Port Authority. He returned to the practice of law. He was a partner at McCarter English. He represented some fairly high-profile clients, including a notorious New Jersey mobster named Dutch Schultz. I mean, he was governor over a century ago, but for those of us who knew David Wilentz just a little bit, we're just 1 degree away from George Silzer. That's all I have for today, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow, or I'll be